McNair gives it to George, running right up the middle. Touchdown! Titans! There are no flags on the field! It's a miracle!
Safety, now you're one-on-one with it.
Shows why he's the man! In trouble. Sack!
Ladies and gentlemen, Titan Nation, welcome back to another episode of Titan Fan Zone. Today, my special guest is Jonathan, Titans Idiot Nation, right? Am I saying that right?
Titans Idiot Nation. We got some balloons there. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know, but
you know,
that wasn't even on my end. But
yeah,
hey,
it wasn't even planned. Look at that. We got
it's cool.
balloons.
The computer already knew what's up. So how you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you reaching out and getting me on. This is a big deal, man. You've been putting in the work for years, and it's an honor to be here. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it. And like I said, it's always nice to see, other people come up and do their own thing, have their own spin. Because to be honest with you, there's not enough people that cover the Titans. I mean, it's as crazy as it sounds. Obviously, the media, we have Titans media, but other than that, there's really not that much. And that was the point of kind of my channel. Was just I live in Dallas, Texas, so there's no one but Cowboy fans around here. So it's hard to talk to you and have conversations. So the fact that I kind of made my own space where I can talk to Titan fans, it's been the best thing for me. So and
yeah, absolutely, man. That's a reflective of your hard work for sure. I say the same thing about Titans content creators and just our team in general. It's such a small market. We're already, the odds are stacked against us to begin with. We don't get much exposure unless it's bad, or unless it's a trade. Other than that, it's hey, Titans are. It's never the Titans won today. It's the other team. What did they do wrong? Right? It's just we never get any respect. So what I kind of did was start to encourage other Titans content creators. Like, look, we got to all work together. Like, I know, everybody wants to be the best at what they do, and everybody really, we all do something better than the next. We all can learn from each other, but we all need to work together, support each other, stick together. So that was my whole thing of like building the whole Titan City Nation. Was that I kind of built something silly for myself, but once it started growing into a community, I thought, well, this is for everybody. And then I just started trying to branch out and collab and network with folks and just, like I say, spread the two-tone gospel.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to do it. Everyone has, like you said, everyone has their own way, but to try to collab and like I said, there's times and situations where you get it to people with a little bit bigger egos and stuff like that, and it gets kind of weird. But I mean, as long as we're all trying to do the same thing, right? We're all trying to have fun. We're all trying to just talk about the Titans, right? Like we go for the same team. There shouldn't be any. It's weird, people are
Yeah.
man. People are
Yeah, absolutely, man. I feel that for sure. But I try to just preach that constantly. I'm just like, hey, man, it's us against the world, the way I look at it.
Like it. I like that. And when did you kind of start this? I guess this identity, this network.
Sure. Oh man, God, how it started. I mean, I'm coming up on this will be my 8th season of creating Titans content. Obviously I'm born and raised in Nashville. I'm older than some dinosaurs. So I was, I was a day one. I was in the stands, the Music City Miracle, watching it happen. And you just once you experience that stuff at a young age, like you're just hooked. I mean, I was 21 years old watching that happen. With all my best buds, like. I've been forever indebted since, but how I started creating content, I've always been involved with the Titans in some form or fashion. I went to school for journalism, went to MTSU I've got a journalism degree from MTSU. I always wanted to be a sports writer. That necessarily didn't kind of come to fruition. I kind of did. I covered the Titans for the Examiner for a while, for about 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And then I interned at Athlon Sports. I did some photography work on the sidelines of the Titans. I worked on their NFL annuals. But at that point, I switched and started doing graphic design and just started doing media and marketing and social media. and obviously really found a niche there, of kind of using my creativity and just my knowledge of the landscape of the modern society of pop culture and just
Mhm.
branding and just every aspect of it. And so I already kind of had a foothold, I guess, in that world. And so the Titans aspect of creating content one day, oh God, so long ago, I think it was the Dolphins. I think it was the Dolphins game many years ago. Went to
The
five or
long
six,
game.
yeah, like 5 or 6 rain delays. Nobody wanted to play. I
Mhm.
mean, by the time the game was finished, everybody was just walking around moping. Anyway, the next day I'm picking my son up from school, and I'm Titans radio is just. I mean, you'd think we just lost the Super Bowl. I mean, it was week one, right? In the most weirdest game I've ever seen in my life, and people were calling and just some of the most ridiculous calls that I was hearing. And so, for as a joke, I just picked up my phone. I arrived a little bit early, so I had a few minutes to kill, and I just started mocking calls and recording myself. And I threw 3 or 4 of them together in a video and threw it out on my regular personal social media. I didn't even know how to use video editing app. I downloaded some app off, the app store. I remember the logo of the app was still in the video, and it was in the end and it was upside down. I mean, it
Yeah,
was so amateur, right?
the best.
But came back a few hours later that night and had all these notifications and saw it had just been shared like couple thousand times and had all these likes, and I was just kind of like, all right, well, hey, let's explore this for a little bit. That was kind of fun.
Mhm.
And you can only do that for a few weeks before you run out of content. And so I started covering, started doing game previews. I started doing game recaps. I started just any way I could kind of get information out the Titans, whatever it was, whether it was injuries, whether it was rumors of free agent acquisitions or trades, like, but I always wanted to put my spin on it. I always wanted to put like a comedic tone to it. And that was the thing to me is like,
Your own, right? That's the
yeah,
most thing.
yeah, sports is so approachable for everyone and it needs to be tangible for everyone. And I feel like in every situation there's comedy around every corner. And people need that in their lives. And so I just wanted to find a way where I could weave in pop culture and comedy and the team that I love and just help kind of raise awareness to, who we are and what we are as a fan base. Never in a million years did I think it would spawn to what it is today. Like that, I just doing something to have some fun, let loose, be silly. And and here we are today. It's just kind of spiraled into a whole community. Like close to 31,000 followers. I mean, obviously they're not all Titans fans because it spans across,
Yeah.
many teams and many sports. But so it's, I can't say there's 31,000 Titans fans here, but it's mostly Titans fans and the community's great. Like I just feel like it's always positive conversations within the comments section.
Yeah.
Even the trolling is fun and positive trolling other fan bases. And so that's my thing of why I operate as a page instead of a group. A lot of people ask why I don't have a group, and it's just because it gets overridden with spam. There's a lot of negativity that pops up. There's a lot of animosity, a lot of hidden racism and bigotism. And I just, to me, I work really hard to moderate my page enough. And I just, that was just my thing from the beginning. So I said, it's going to be a page that I'm going to dedicate to the community. I'm going to operate what comes in and what comes out. I'm the
Yep.
final say, but in the end, it's for the people. And,
Yep.
it's for the Titans fans, and that's where I am today. So I mean, yeah, I guess you could say it originated for about 8 years ago. I started doing it on my personal Facebook for about 2 years, and once it started getting too much traction, my wife was like, "All right, get a page for this nonsense." So the page is coming on 6 years.
Oh wow,
So
nice, very nice, cool, man.
yeah,
That's awesome. And like I said, it's always good to collab and especially start with what you've done. I'm all about positivity, man. Even though I mean, we all know it. Twitter, the internet could be really, really toxic. It could be
oh
really
man,
negative, and I try to at least take that channel it into something where it's positive. Regardless, everyone has different opinions. Doesn't mean just because I have a different opinion on yours and you vice versa doesn't mean that I have to bash you or
yeah,
put you down because maybe you like Marcus Mariota and I can't stand him. Doesn't mean I'm going to bash you about it. And that's one of the ones that was crazy because again,
yeah,
I'm not too big of a Marcus Mariota fan. I'm like, it's fine.
man.
It's
I
for
you
everyone.
know,
It's not for
I,
everyone.
I've died on that hill many times. I was I mean, I still have the screenshot. I'm very proud of the screenshot. It's a preseason screenshot where I said, "Man, I sure would like to see what Ryan Tannehill could do with these ones and twos," you know. And I caught a lot of flack for it. And by week 6, he was in there and he was tearing it up. So it was kind of like, I definitely have died on that hill with a lot of Titans fans. And you're right. I caught a lot of flack for my blatant just disregard for his style of play.
But you know what? At the end of the day, it's your take. You get me? I mean, it's
Yeah.
one person's opinion compared to another person's opinion. I just, like I said, I'm pretty good with just listening, hearing out, because a lot of people don't like to hear, especially if someone else has a different opinion. They're kind of stuck on their own, and that's it. You're not changing it, and it's fine. And I'm not trying to change it, but to assess a situation, to look at it from both sides, positive and negative. Try to come up with a common sense, and not trying to be so rational about someone else's opinion. Just criticize, stop and listen for a
Mhm.
second, and you might learn something.
That that's the most important takeaway is stop and listen,
Yeah,
because the loudest person in the room is always the least informed, and we know that. And
yeah,
that's why they're the loudest in the room. And once you sit around and listen, who understands what they're talking about, who's passionate, and who's just basically reading off the sound bites that they've heard 25 other people say. I mean, it doesn't make anybody wrong or right. It I guess it just defines on how you interact as a fan, right?
yeah, and how you
Like,
get that information and what
yeah,
you do with it. Either I could
yeah.
be negative about it, I could bash you. I'm not going to, but so I try to find like the safest way of kind of getting around it. There's a bunch of people I've been before that said, like I said, this year, the season, I said I think that our ceiling, for me, my own opinion, 7 games is pretty high for us. And people are like, "Are you crazy? We're going 11 and something." I'm like, well, I mean, that's a fair point too. But I'm just thinking, and personally, what I see, I don't want to be in the hype train. I try to be pretty neutral because I've been burned before. If you've been a Titans fan, man, there's been seasons, right? That I've been all in. I'm like, this is the year
Oh
that,
man,
and it happens. So I'm pretty contained when it comes to that. I'm just like, okay, I'll just see
you
how this.
have to be.
That's it.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, like you said, you come out gangbusters. You're like, this is the year. And
Yeah,
then out of nowhere, when you're not expecting much, we have a 13-3 season. You're just,
there
I
you go.
mean,
Again,
there's
but
a
I think
picture on my wall with a lot of players from that team right there, actually on it. So
we'll see. But again, Jonathan, it's been a blast to have you on, man. I'm definitely going to throughout the season, especially this season, get you on for a post game, maybe a
yeah,
pre game, and we'll definitely collab because
yeah,
that's the most important thing, right? Is collabing and sharing each other's ideas and stuff. Like I said, you might be a market fan. I'm not.
yeah, man.
Don't worry about it. We
Yeah.
still we still love the Titans, right? That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%, man, 100%. And I got you. And yeah, I appreciate you having me on. And it'd be an honor to jump on the season. And, anytime I get a chance to talk Titans, it's always fun, let loose, tell my story. I've got a lot of funny stories. Like I said, I've been around since my very first Titans game was a preseason game at Vanderbilt Stadium against the Redskins.
Nice,
So I go
nice.
back. I go back. So I got some stories. I got some fun stories. I got some really, really fun stories. And so yeah, I'd love to come back and share some of them.
Of course, brother. All right, man. Well, God bless and always tighten up, man. All right.
Yes, sir. Tighten up.